I'm Deb Gerish. I've been in the social sciences department since fall of 2000. I looked much younger then. And I teach World Cultures to 1500, which is a survey level class that meets several general education requirements. It, in addition to exposing students to thinking about cultures other than their own, is also supposed to train them in critical thinking. This is a stated general education outcome. I teach at least one section every semester. Some semesters I teach 2 sections, and there's an enrollment of between 30 and 40 students in each section. All of that means that there's a lot of grading, and I've needed to tailor writing assignments to pinpoint specific tasks that I want students to accomplish. In addition, that has meant thinking about not just learning outcomes for the class, which took me forever to devise, but learning outcomes for these specific writing assignments. And that turned out to be a huge breakthrough for me, because once I articulated, all right, this is what I want the students to get out of a particular assignment, my thinking got sharpened in a huge way. Then I started putting my learning outcomes for assignments on Blackboard where the students could see them. And that led to a better conversation between all of us about what I was looking for, how I was grading things, and how they could best fulfill the assignment's requirements. Lastly, setting up learning outcomes for an assignment really helped me shape a rubric. And once you've got a rubric and learning outcomes, you are halfway to assessment. So this is the embedded assessment piece that we've been told makes our lives easier for years and years. Well, I'm here to tell you it actually does work that way. The minute you start thinking about, what do I want students to get out of this assignment? How am I going to get them to do it? How am I going to measure that they've done it? You've done an embedded assessment. Another advantage to thinking about assignments this way is that it can also become easier to have assignments build on each other. Because I cover 4.5 millennia in 16 weeks, I decided years ago that I would break the whole semester into 3 units. Instead of starting off with, you must write a 3 to 5 page paper at the beginning of the semester, we work on building skills that will lead to much stronger papers by the end of the semester. So I'm giving them the building blocks of papers, and the feedback provided to them shows them, do this more, do less of this part is perfect, this is great. And with each assignment, I'm also shortening grading time by simply saying, all that stuff we told you to do last time, now you're doing it, or you're not doing it well enough, or sometimes you do it, but not always. So it has turned out to be a lifesaver for me so that I don't have to kill myself grading all the time. And I think the students have really figured out, oh, this is how to write an argumentative analytical paper, drawing on evidence from the past. So it's been a win-win all around. Another huge advantage of this, I've been fortunate to have teaching assistants every semester on campus. And it's wonderful. But since we do not have a graduate program in world history, my TAs have all tended to, in early world history, my TAs have focused on American history or recent events, what I like to think of as, current events like, World War I. When you stop in 1500, World War I is a current event. So they are very good at many things, but they are often not as comfortable in the content. Also, we've all, I'm sure, fallen prey to the glib answer, the student who can write grammatically and they make it sound good, but when you really dive into Are they critically thinking? Are they reasoning from point A to point B to point C? It doesn't look so good. Well, these targeted writing assignments don't give the student writers any room to just be glib. So it's become much easier to show my GTAs what I'm looking for. In turn, they might start their own teaching careers, if that's where they're going, thinking about targeted writing assignments so that, unlike people of my generation, they don't kill themselves grading the first couple of years. They've got shorter assignments, they can really focus on what they're trying to get out of things, and they're already thinking about embedded assessment. I tweak constantly. And again, this is not only beneficial for me and for the students, it's part of the assessment process. The thing assessment people have been saying over and over about how assessment is done at ESU is that we don't talk about how we're closing the loop. The whole maybe assessment initially was about coming up with numbers to satisfy some bureaucrats who don't actually live in the classroom the way we do. But when assessment is done well, it can be exceptionally useful for improving assignments and improving how we teach. So every semester, I think about what worked in the way I'm talking about the evidence exercises, the way I'm grading them, the way I'm training my GTA, and I make notes. I'm already making notes based on this semester's shorter writing assignments for next semester. My GTA and I have already collaborated on what we're going to change to make it better. I solicit the surveys. The students often have things to say. And if their suggestions are good, I work them in. So for all these reasons, I think that shorter, targeted writing assignments that build up the pieces of a bigger paper have made a lot of sense for the students. They've eased my life considerably. And I now have pieces of embedded assessment that I can share with anybody who is interested in assessment data, which frankly is just about everybody I can.